Hello, I'm going to be going through the UFC Paris fight night. Let's start with the main card, from the main event down, and just go from opposite order. Just because I was doing prelims up, and I feel like it's more interesting to start with like the fight everyone wants to know about first. So yeah, leave a comment if you prefer to go in like descending order instead of ascending. Just I feel like it's more interesting to get to right into the meat of the bones straight away. Okay, Nassourdine Imavov versus Caio Borralho. I'm picking Caio Borralho here by decision. I think that Imavov is maybe better technically than Borralho, but what I've noticed is Imavov sits back and waits for the shot way too much. He's like a sniper. He just waits a lot for the shot. And Caio Borralho has some dynamic strikes. You know, he has step-in knees, he has like step-in elbows. He does a lot of different shit that's gonna make it so Imavov cannot get the counter strike off that he wants. And I think that Borralho is just going to win this by just having way more significant strikes and just not giving Imavov the counter strike that he's looking for. And it's just going to be like, Borralho's just going to win because Imavov is just waiting too much. I could definitely see Imavov dropping Caio Borralho in like 1 or 2 rounds, but I don't think he's going to drop him in 3 out of 5 rounds. So maybe it'll be like really close, maybe split decision. I feel like Caio is going to get cut up. I think he has bad scar tissue because his face was fucked after that Cannonier fight, and I feel like Imavov is going to find some counter strikes and really mess up his face, but I feel like it's just going to be like the case of in 3 out of the 5 rounds he's not going to get the big shot, and then Borralho's just going to have so many more significant strikes. He's going to be like way more active. As far as like the grappling being introduced into this match, I feel like both fighters are going to be happy with keeping on the feet. I don't think either fighter is really going to shoot. I do like Imavov's grappling style where he doesn't shoot. He only takes like chances to take people down, like they happen naturally. Like if someone gives them the back, like and they do like a spinning kick, he'll grab them by the waist, and that's like a really easy takedown for a trip. But I feel like Borralho won't really go for takedown just because he's going to be winning on the feet. He's going to be more active on the feet, and he's going to perceive himself as winning. I just think that it'll be on the feet majority of the time because both fighters will want to keep it on the feet. And yeah, I just feel like Caio Borralho is just going to be doing way more than Imavov. Imavov's going to be sitting back waiting for the perfect shot too much, and Borralho will get the decision. Okay, the co-main event: Benoit Saint-Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy. Thank fuck this is in Paris, so Joe Rogan's not going to be here because he doesn't really do international cards, so we don't have to him compare Ruffy to Conor 1 million fucking times in one round. I think this fight is kind of the case of Ruffy gets the KO round 1 or BSD gets a decision win. I think that's how this is going to go. I think it's kind of like it's either Benoit Saint Denis gets Mauricio Ruffy down in round 1, or Mauricio Ruffy KOs BSD in round 1. Even though we've never really seen Mauricio Ruffy's takedown defense like tested, you know, he trains with the Fighting Nerds. They're a decent gym, so I think he will have decent takedown defense, and I think he's going to be, you know, training it, because I think it's pretty obvious that BSD needs to get him down in round 1. Because, yeah, I think that Ruffy kind of has the same problem as Conor, where he's really explosive round 1, but rounds 2 and 3, a lot of the pepper off his shots comes off. So, yeah, but I just think he's going to KO in round 1, you know? I just do. I actually, like, no joke. I do think he's going to KO in round 1. Just BSD's striking defense is really fucking bad. Like, he was actually getting, like... He wasn't getting pieced up by, Moicano in the second round after he got fucked up. So maybe they could say that's why he was getting a little bit caught, because he was so fucked up still. But he still, you know... He was getting, like, caught by Moicano in the second round. I just feel like the combination of BSD having really bad striking defense and Mauricio Ruffy having one punch knockout power in round 1, especially if your chin is not uncrackable. Like the guy Ruffy versed had a really uncrackable chin. Lon top, he had like that Mexican Lon top DS chin. So if you don't have that level of chin and you have pretty bad striking defense, also Lon top had good striking defense as well. Like he was like a NPC offense wise, but he had pretty good defense. Whereas BSD's defense is weak as fuck. He has got his chin cracked before. So yeah, I just feel that Ruffy's going to get him. He's going to find the chin round 1. Okay, moving down to Modestas Bukauskas versus Paul Craig. Yeah, I'm going to go Bukauskas here. You know, he trains with Tom Aspinall, so I think his takedown defense is going to be good enough to defend Paul Craig's weak as fuck ass takedowns. And on the feet, he's just way more dynamic. Like, all Paul Craig has is a body roundhouse kick. I think Bukauskas is just going to get in close enough where he mitigates the kick and just, fucking piece him up, bro. Maybe a leg kick him, get him against the fence, clinch him, release of elbows, but before Paul Craig can get a chance to, engage with the grappling or reverse. Yeah, he's just going to just fuck him up here. I think he's going to fuck him up round 1 and then KO him round 2. Also, Bukauskas, he got a lot of shit for his last fight against Kutilaba. I thought he lost that. A lot of people thought he lost that. And I think he got a lot of shit online. I don't know if he was really interactive online, but I feel like he's going to have a fire under his belt and he's going to be more aggressive in this fight, and I think he's going to get the KO here. Okay, now we've got Bolaji Oki versus Mason Jones. I'm going to go Mason Jones here. I think he just showed, even though it wasn't really good technically in his last fight against Jeremy Stephenson, he just showed that he's kind of a dog and he's willing to step into the fire and he's willing to really throw down. Whereas I think Bolaji Oki doesn't have that. I think Bolaji Oki's better technically and maybe a little bit faster, but I think Mason Jones is going to out-dog him here. I think he's probably going to drop round 1, but then in rounds 2 and 3, he's just going to, push the pace and just out-dog him. Yeah, very close fight. Like, I would not put a bet on this at all. Like, I have no idea who's going to win. I just feel like I feel like maybe Mason Jones might win. I don't know. It's a very close fight, though. Okay, then we've got Axel Sola versus Rhys McKee. Axel Sola, minus 140. One of many UFC debutants is this Axel Sola guy. He's the Aries organization lightweight champion with 4 defenses. And from what I've seen, I never watched the organization, but I think Aries is like the biggest regional French fight, like French org. It's kind of like a tournament MMA here in Australia. Yeah, this fight is taking place at welterweight, and Sola has all of his recent fights have been lightweight. Early in his career was welterweight, but his last 10 fights have been lightweight. So he does have lighter man skill here. I usually do not pick UFC debutants. I have kind of like a rule not to, because they just always lose. But this Axel Sola guy does look really good. Lighter man skill, 4 defenses on the biggest org in his region, and Rhys McKee's just ass. Rhys McKee sucks, bro. 1-4 in the UFC. His only win was for a doctor stoppage on the other guy's behalf. Yeah, I just don't rate Rhys McKee, and this is going to be one of the rare times that I pick the debutant in Axel Sola. We've got Patricio Pitbull versus Losene Keita. Keita is the moderate favorite here, and he's making his UFC debut. He is the Octagon, which is kind of an alright org, lightweight champion, and he's the Octagon featherweight interim champion. He has 2 belts in the picture here, but he got the interim title ages ago, so I don't know if he's actually still the interim champion. It's kind of confusing how it's working, but I think he might be a double champ in the Octagon anyway. Well, he is a double champ. I don't know if he might be a concurrent double champ. Anyway, I'm gonna go Pitbull here. I watched some of Keita's highlights, and he looks aggressive. He looks like he hits hard, but he looks like he's very simple striking. I feel like the way you beat Pitbull is you throw a lot of shit at him so he can't counter. That's why who is it? Who is it? The Mexican guy. Cool. Who the fuck? She's escaped my mind. Daniel Ortega. What the fuck? How was his name? Yair Rodriguez. That's why Yair Rodriguez was such a bad matchup for Patricio Pitbull, because he's so dynamic and he throws out so much different shit that Patricio Pitbull couldn't do what his game plan is, which is counter-striking. If you're throwing out tons of different shit, leg kicks, mixing it up, elbows, knees, Patricio Pitbull can't implement his game of plotty men countering. Whereas this Losene Keita, he seems like very basic, mostly just boxing, and I think that maybe it'll be a bad round 1 for Patricio Pitbull, but I think that his basic style is like Pitbull's wet dream. That's why Pitbull was so good in Bellator, because Bellator guys aren't dynamic. And if you're not dynamic against Patricio Pitbull, his counter-striking is some of the best in the world. So yeah, I think this is a Bellator level matchup, and Pitbull wins these all days, bro. I don't know why this guy's a moderate. I think he just has hype because he's a double concurrent champion, but I think Pitbull's going to get a read on the counters here. This Keita guy's never been KO'd though, but I feel like it's going to be kind of like an MVP point style fight where pretty sure Pitbull gets a really big shot off in 2 rounds and doesn't really get anything else off, but because of the fact that he knocked him down, he just wins 2 rounds, the MVP strat. So yeah, I'm going to go Patricio Pitbull here by decision. Okay, now we've got William Gomis versus Robert Ruchala, another UFC debut. Maybe just no one wanted to go to France, so that's why there's so many debutants, just because there's a lot of debutants on this card. And maybe just like France has really bad tax regulations or something, so no one wanted to go here, so they just got all newcomers in or something. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, this Robert Ruchala guy is the interim featherweight champ for KSW. He has one defense for an interim title, so he's like Tom Aspinall maxing. We got William Gomis here. I feel like William Gomis is solid. If it's a UFC debutant against a solid guy, I'm going to pick the solid guy. So yeah, I think Gomis here, he's a solid guy. Only lost to Haider Emil, and Haider Emil's pretty good. I rate Haider Emil highly. Yeah, I just think Gomis by decision. I'm not picking someone that's debuting. Okay, now we got Oumar Sy versus Brendson Ribeiro. I'm going to go Oumar Sy here. He is the heavy favourite. And yeah, I think that this is a bad styles matchup for Brendson Ribeiro. I feel like he's just going to get kept at range. And Ribeiro is kind of alright, but I just feel like he doesn't really have like a game plan set in his head of what he's going to do. Like, Sy is just like really reserved, just like, you know, keeping at range, like kind of like a Cyril Gane-ish type of style, but even less output than Cyril Gane. Whereas Ribeiro, I don't know, I just don't see what he can do. I just think he's going to get kept at range the whole fight, and it's going to be a really boring fight. Less boring than that Alonzo Menefield fight, which was atrocious. But yeah, I think this is also going to be a boring fight. And we've got Marcin Tybura versus Ante Delija. This Delija guy is making his UFC debut. There's like so many UFC debuts in this card. I don't know why. Maybe they're just... He's not even French. I was going to say maybe they're just getting all the French guys, but this guy's Croatian. Yeah, but he's been in the PFL for ages. He won the heavyweight tournament in 2022. I don't know why this is near even. Like, I'll only pick guys that are coming out of the UFC debuting if they're fighting someone that's already shit. Whereas Marcin Tybura has proven himself to be pretty fucking good. He's number 10 in the world, bro. He's been ranked for like a decade. I think Tybura's a lock here. I'm going to put money on Tybura probably because I don't know why this is near even. Yeah, I'm going the UFC vet here for sure. Tybura decision, I think, just because Tybura, you know, he does hit hard and he is dangerous on the ground, but I feel like he just takes so much time off. He just gets tired and takes time off. He takes rounds off all the time, so I think it'll be a decision. Okay, then we got Caio Fernandes versus Harry Hardwick. So this is supposed to be the Fernandes guy versus Faris Zahim, but he pulled out because his nan died, I think, pretty sure. So now Harry Hardwick has stepped in on short notice. Hardwick is actually the Cage Warriors champ with 2 defenses. I did watch Hardwick's highlights because this is his UFC debut, so I've never seen him fight before. I don't watch fucking Cage Warriors. And he looks a little bit sloppy, honestly. I think Fernandes is a little bit cleaner. I think he's just going to piece him up at range. Like, Fernandes is kind of just like a counter striker, like kind of like an Imavov style. Like he kind of just waits for shots, whereas Hardwick seems a little bit like he doesn't really have a solid like game plan or fighting style. He kind of just like goes with the flow, and I feel like he's just going to get counterpunched and kept at range here. And I think it's going to be Fernandes by decision. I feel like Hardwick will eat some big shots, but from what I've seen, Hardwick actually is a dog. Like I've seen him get hurt a few times. And I didn't watch that many fights. Like every fight I watched him, he got hurt. So I think he will slug through it, and maybe it'll be a really good fight, and he'll actually, you know, get rewarded for stepping in on short notice and get another UFC fight. But I do think Fernandes is just a different level right now. Okay, and we've got Sam Patterson versus Trey Waters. This is a pretty good matchup. I feel like both of these guys are elite enough to, like, you know, challenge for rankings. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these guys are ranked at some point. Like, you know, it's hard to tell so early, but I could see them being, like, you know, like the 10 to 15 spot. I don't know if they get further than that. Yeah, they're both pretty freaking tall for welterweight, 6'3" and 6'5". I'm going to go Sam Patterson here. I feel like he's just a bit more dynamic on the feet and a bit faster. I think Trey Waters, he hits a bit harder, but he's kind of like a bit plotty and just like, you know, for his basic combination. I think Sam Patterson's more dynamic, and I give him the edge here. I'm going to Patterson by decision. Okay, Brad Tavares versus Robert Brishek. I vaguely remember his only fight in the UFC, and he actually lost to Ihor Potieria. Like, I barely remember the fight, but he lost to Ihor Potieria, who's 2-6 in the UFC. So yeah. And he also has a losing record on Octagon MMA, which is like not even like an LFA or like Cage Warriors type thing. It's like lower than that, and he has like a losing record in that promotion. So yeah, I think Brad Tavares is, you know, deservedly the favorite here, maybe even more of a favorite, because I think Brad Tavares is definitely going to win. I'd be extremely surprised if this Robert guy wins. So yeah, Tavares by decision, I think, just because Tavares doesn't have much power. Okay, Renat Fakhreddinov versus Andreas Gustafsson. Gustafsson's coming as the -125 slight favorite. I'm going to go Gustafsson. I feel like Renat has shown some conditioning issues, and I feel like he likes to stay at range more. And I think Gustafson's style really counters Renat's range because he just like forces the tie clinch anywhere he can go. He'll force the tie clinch in the open or against the fence. So I think he'll push the pace on Renat and eventually back him up and get him trapped in the clinch. And I think that he'll be pushing such a pace that he'll just like gas him out by round 2 and finish him by KO. Okay, so Shauna Bannon versus Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes coming in as a minus 300 moderate favorite. I'm going to go Sam Hughes here. I just feel like, she's just better than Shauna Bannon. Shauna Bannon just like a very basic, like, spam karate-style kicks. And I think Sam Hughes is just going to close the distance and just take her down and control her. All 3 rounds, pretty boring fight. I think it'll be Hughes by decision. Okay, guys, that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and I will be posting a recap /reaction video to this card on probably Monday. So yeah, I'll see you then. Thanks.